Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need an orthopedist, go to the best. Go to Brock. And of course, Hudco Roofing. If you need a roof, give us a shout. Any roof issues, 364-1007. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, prochargeev.com. You'll see it right there in the crawl. All right. Hope everybody had a great Friday, a good Friday. Not just a good Friday, but a great Friday. LSU baseball loses game 2, 4-3 in 10 innings. That really sucked. Kind of exactly what we talked about, man. You decided to pitch off, and you lost game 1 to set yourself up to win game 2 with Holman, and Holman wasn't his best. Only gave you 4 1/3. Drove the pitch count way up. Exited at 98 pitches through 4 1/3. 3 runs on 5 hits. Struck out only 5. Walked 5. Was not his best command. I don't even have to look. I can tell you it's the most walks he's had in a game this year. And you were in a tight ball game, and they won it in 10. You had opportunities. The 2 innings where you scored. You put up a 2 spot in the 3rd, and you got the single run in the 6th, and both of those could have been monster innings for you. You had 2 on and 1 out for Travinsky. You finally got, the 3rd. The thing we've talked about with this team so much is they got to get guys on base for their run producers. And if you go to the 3rd inning, that happened. Stephen Milam led off with a single at the bottom of the lineup. You flipped over to the top of the order. Mac Bingham hits a missile right at the 3rd baseman. That's just bad baseball luck. I mean, they were shaded right. The 3rd baseman made a great play. Bingham hit the ball hard and wasn't rewarded for it. Happens, it's baseball. But then White singles to center. So boom, boom, boom. You've hit him hard 3 times. You got 2 on. You got 2 on, 1 out. And now you've got Jones and Travinsky and Pearson coming up. Like you've got men on base for your run producers. This is what we talked about. They keep hitting solo homers. They got to find a way to get guys on base for their run producers. Well, you lead off with a single from your 9 hole. Your leadoff hitter lines out, so it's 1 on, 1 out. White singles, 2 on. Now here comes Jones and Travinsky, and Jones walks. So you've got the bases loaded now with 1 out for Travinsky, and Travinsky strikes out. Like, it is inexcusable not to put the ball in play there. A fly ball to the outfield scores a run. I mean, you've got to get the ball in play. Anyway, so Travinsky strikes out, and thankfully Pearson comes through. Pearson singles to left and 2-run score. So you get a 2 spot there to take a 2-0 lead. And then you've still got ducks on the pond for Ethan Fry, and Ethan Fry strikes out. They moved Ethan Fry down in the lineup, and he still went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. I mean, I understand Jay is trying to find offense. But the Fry thing is hurting you 2 ways. Number 1, he's not producing. And number 2, by DHing Fry, that means you have to catch Travinsky. And in catching Travinsky, I think a couple of things are happening. First of all, Travinsky's bat has been not as potent. I think that's natural. It's very physically taxing to catch. And so not only are you're lesser, you have your weakest defensive catcher in, but you're also limiting his offense by making him catch. And you've got Fry in the game who's not producing. Like, I get he's searching, he's tinkering, he's trying, but man, that combo ain't it. And then you come back in the sixth, and you get the bases loaded with nobody out in the sixth. Pearson's hit by a pitch to open the inning. Fry walks. So you go hit by pitch, walk. And then Braswell singles to second. He gets the infield single. So bases loaded, nobody out. Okay. You're down 3-2 right now. Because Holman gave up the one inning where he gave up 3 runs. So you're down 3-2. You get the bases loaded, nobody out. Larson comes in to pinch hit and does exactly what you needed Travinski to do the last time. He hits a missile to left field. The run scores from third. So you're tied. It's 3-3. So now you've got 2 on with just 1 out. Milam grounds into a double play. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Thought Griffin Herring was good out of the bullpen. And even Herring went 4 2/3 of shutout ball. I mean, he was 8 strikeouts. Herring might be your best pitcher right now. I'm going to say, like, right now, I think he's pitching the best on your staff. He was awesome. And you went to Hurd in the 10th, and Hurd gets the loss. It's hardly Thatcher Hurd's fault. I mean, Hurd strikes out the first batter, and then the second batter, it's a tapper, a roller to short, and it goes under Braswell's glove. And then he gives up a double, and the guy scores from first. So, I mean, you should have been 2 out, nobody on, strikeout, weak ground out. I mean, Hurd was fine there, and then he gave up the double. But anyway. All right, we'll say some good mornings. But it's brutal. I mean, you've had two really brutal SEC losses already with game 2 last week and game 2 last night. The game 2 against Florida, where you had it won, you blew it late, and then last night where another one where you were in position to win the game and you couldn't get it done. So Tigers 2-6 in conference play. They've lost all 3 series now to start conference play. Knew this was going to be a grind in the first half of the season. Doesn't make it any more fun to go through it. But Jay's looking for answers. Hope he finds them soon, man. Next week, you're home against Vanderbilt. Then you're on the road against Tennessee. We talked about it very plausibly. Like, you could be 6-9, 5-10, at the halfway point of conference play. So it's very eerily similar to what happened to Tennessee a year ago. They made it to Omaha. So, I mean, look, there's enough talent on this team. I'll keep saying that. I know it's not fun to hear, but there is enough talent on this team. There's plenty enough talent, plenty enough arms, all that stuff. He's got to find the right combination. Right now, he's just not doing it. So, all right, Adam Parker, good morning. J.R. Ill, good morning, or maybe J.R. 3. Barry Jocelyn, what's going on? James McKinney, Devin Johnson, Murder Giraffe, what's up? Bradley and Graphia, good to see y'all this morning. Barry, hey, Pigs, what do you think about bunting now? Never mind. Yeah, for those that weren't watching the game, there was a play at the plate where they tried to squeeze bunt. Arkansas did, and they bunted at Jared Jones, who charges, gloves it, and flips to Travinski with the glove, like glove hand, flips it to him. And it was very reminiscent of the Trey Morgan play, although Morgan barehanded and flipped to Milazzo, who swipe tagged. Wasn't quite as dramatic a tag. I mean, they had him dead to rights at home, the runner dead to rights at home. Anyway, Dalton Barnett, morning, Maddie. Starting off my 25th birthday with a little morning scone. Any worry with some of the same reports in spring as the offense is putting it on the defense again? All right, Dalton. Little football question. Don't mind that. Happy birthday, too, by the way, to Dalton Barnett. 25 years strong. Good for you, bro. Hope it's a great one. Cheers. Cheers. Am I worried about the offense putting it on the defense? No, you expect that. I mean, I don't expect LSU's defense to dramatically improve overnight with mostly the same people. So no, I'm not surprised at all. I just need them to be, I'll say it again, I just need LSU's defense to not be the worst ever. You don't need to be top 10 in the country. And I expect the offense is going to be really good again. I don't think the offense is going to be number one in the country, but I think the offense will be top 20 in the country, maybe even top 10 in the country. I just need the defense not to give up 35 points a game. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Barry, I assume there's still time to rally, but dang, we keep losing important games and series. Look, Barry, it's all about, look, yes. So we keep, I'll spell it out again. And again, it's hard to see the forest through the trees, right? When you're hyper-focused on this moment, this game, this day, it's hard to pull back and look at the 30-game SEC roadmap. We've talked about this literally since the schedule came out. The first half of league play was going to be brutal, and then it lightens up considerably in the second half. So this is no fun, but is it any different than if you'd flipped it? Like, if you'd flipped it and you had the first 5 weeks were the relatively easier weeks. Not that any week in the SEC is easy. And then you had all the tougher series later, or if you sprinkled them out. I don't know, but you go through it as it is. So, if you hit the halfway point of the league at 6-9 and you flip that and better it by a game in the second half and go 10-5, well, then you're at 16 conference wins. You're not a national seed, but at 16 conference wins, you're probably still a regional host site, and then you're on the road in supers. And hopefully by then you're playing your best baseball and you're good to go. But yeah, man, like losing, just think about how different it feels. Like losing last Saturday when you had the game won at home, and then last night where you had your chances to win that game with Holman on the bump. I mean, how different do you feel right now at 4-4 as opposed to 2-6? I mean, it's a dramatically different feeling. And you'd have a chance to go win the series today. Let's see. Nookie Palmer 2.0. Don't feel bad. Mississippi State blew a 4-run lead in the bottom of the ninth to lose to Florida. I don't really care about Mississippi State at all. Devin Kelly, bro, 0-3. Your first SEC series is concerning. I know this was against number one team in the country. At what point does the sky actually start to fall if they lose their first 5 series? No, it's entirely possible they lose the first 5 series. But again, it's like that's not the only one that's a surprise to this point was losing to Mississippi State. State was picked. State and Ole Miss were picked 13th and 14th or were picked as. Yeah, maybe Missouri was picked at the bottom of the league, but they were picked at the bottom of the West, and so losing that one was the one that was a surprise for sure. But losing the Florida series, losing this series, I mean, if you told me LSU was going to lose series in Florida and Arkansas, I wouldn't be surprised. Forrest Wilkinson got my MMA tickets for the fight at the Texas Club tonight. All right, man, enjoy. I hope it's a great card, man. I really hope that it's great. I'm not going to be able to make it tonight, but I'm hoping to catch the next promotion they do. Brent St. Germain, good morning. Jake Nola, LSU feels like they're very close except for the big loss against Florida. A couple more clutch hits. We win some of these games. The goal is to be at our best late in the season. That's the best outlook, the most positive outlook, Jake. And what you hope for LSU is the realistic outlook. But I just don't know where the offense is going to come from, man. Like it's the hard thing to see right now. Let's see, Gwaine, Matt, hello from Matsu, Alaska. Best to you and your family. Same to you, Gwaine. Mark Vitanovich, can the Pelicans beat the Celtics today in New Orleans, 4 p.m., and NOLA finally become a basketball city? Well, Mark, if they beat the Pelicans today, New Orleans isn't going to become a basketball city. And no matter what the Pelicans do, New Orleans will never lead with basketball. It will always be a football city first. I think you know that well enough. But can the city and the state and the region get behind this team? Absolutely. They win, they get in the playoffs, they're competitive. Yes. We've seen it before. Let's see. We know they're growing pains after losing Paul Skeens, Ty Floyd, Riley Cooper, Chase Shores, Garrett Edwards, Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, Cable Oso, Gavin Duda, Joe Bear Thompson. Yes. You lost your top 7 hitters from a year ago. Or 7 of your top hitters because Tommy White's back. Jeff G, it's early. I'm curious what our BA is with guys on base or guys in scoring position. Doesn't seem good. Those are advanced metrics and splits that like we don't get to see necessarily. They have them, no doubt, but they don't publish that like on their stat homepage. But I can try to find out. Aaron Hornsby, good morning. Kelly Gross, good morning. Earl, sometimes you got to tip your cap. Matt Ark has elite pitching. That freshman for Arkansas is really good thrower, 98. The thing is, Earl, like LSU has a freshman that throws 98 from the left side as well, and he walked in a run on Friday, right? So it's not the talent gap; it's getting your talent to produce, which LSU isn't doing right now. Austin Kidder, morning, Matt. Brutal start to SEC play. How do you like the Lady Tigers' chances against UCLA? I love the situation for LSU. I love that they had extra time to get healthy and rest. So LSU basically got a full extra day than UCLA did before this one, because LSU played Friday, Sunday. UCLA played Saturday, Monday, and they played Monday evening. Like LSU played early on Sunday. UCLA played late on Monday and then had to fly across the country to Albany. So I think that benefits LSU. Tigers are a 3.5-point favorite in this game. So I would expect a close game, but LSU is your betting favorite in this one. And there we go. Lauren Betts leads UCLA, 14.9 points per game, 9 boards, so basically 15-9. And then Charisma Osborne averages 14 and 5. So a couple of names to keep an eye out for there. It's interesting that LSU and UCLA are similar in that they score a lot and they have really good defense, but LSU scores more, and defensively they're similar. So should be one that the Lady Tigers. They're not the Lady Tigers anymore. They're just the Tigers. They just call them the LSU women's basketball team. But should be one that they win. Hopefully anyway. Amy Hyde, good morning. Earl, happy Easter to you as well. Thomas Primo, frustrated to say the least. Don't blame you. You should be. Aaron Hornsby driving back to Louisiana. All right, Aaron. Safe travels. Irfan Sayad, Gumaugan. Al Trahan or Trahan. What about putting Tommy in leadoff like Cruz did? You could. The problem is Tommy White is a free swinger. He swings at the first. I would bet dollars to donuts that Tommy White swings at the first pitch of his at bats 75% of the time. And you want a leadoff man to be a table setter. You want that to be someone that works counts and makes pitchers, makes pitchers sweat and work and throw everything they got. And he doesn't do that. Plus, he's a run producer. Like Tommy White is. Come on. So Travinsky leads your team with 28 RBI. Tommy White, 24. Jared Jones, 24. Those are your run producers. The next closest is Bingham and Braswell with 17. So, like, those 3 guys are your run producers. I need them up with guys on base. So I don't want Tommy White leading off. I want Tommy White coming up with guys on base. But the guy leading you in on base percentage is Hayden Travinski. And then the next highest on base percentage is Jared Jones. I mean, Jay right now clearly has a strong affinity for Ethan Fry. But Fry in league play has really struggled, man. I'm not trying to call out the guy. I'm just saying, like, it's Jay is trying to find bats that he can count on, right? And so Fry is a sophomore, is a really talented guy who my opinion is next year Ethan Fry is your Jared Jones. He's going to be your big power hitting first baseman. That's going to be Ethan Fry's role next year. Because Jones is a draft eligible sophomore and he's going to hit 20 bombs and he's going to sign a pro contract and leave. So Fry is going to be your Jared Jones next year. And so they're trying to get his bat in the lineup. But in conference play against Florida, the first game he was in against Florida, he went 2 for 4. Then he went 0 for 4. Then he went 1 for 2. Then he led off against Southeastern and went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Then on Thursday against Arkansas, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Then last night, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. So, he has 6 strikeouts in his last 11 at bats. That's not good. So, and that's compounding. That is a compounding effect because if you're DHing Fry, you have to catch Travinski. Like for me, and I know y'all are gonna want to hear this. Like, you need to put Milazzo back in the lineup, and you need to DH Travinski. And I'll tell you why. Because right now you have 2 options, as I see it. You might disagree. But I think you have 2 options. You keep riding with your young, talented players, understanding they're going to have growing pains, and you see how they come through it. Guys like Fry, Larson, Milam. Or you look at guys that have played in 4 and 5 SEC seasons who have delivered for you in conference play in Omaha and lean on those guys. So that's why I'm like, yeah, give me some how to win awareness. Give me some veteran guys who will give me competitive at-bats. Travinski's been a better offensive player as a DH than as a catcher for obvious reasons, right? Playing catcher is a very physically taxing thing. So maybe you need the guys that have been there that know how to win in these situations, helping you figure out how to win these games. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. You're there on YouTube, Facebook. Like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. Brian Dixon, morning, Matt. Lent drank some Weller Foolproof store pick last night. Okay, my favorite Weller. There you go. Gulf South, both CPM and CJJ entered SEC play basically every year. Still looking for a good lineup. Why does every team do this? What's the fall spring practice for if you still don't know your lineup by Easter? So it's a really good question. I think it's a very fair question as well. And so the counter argument is exactly what you said. And that's, we've had that conversation on Fridays with Terrio for a long time. We actually, last Friday, we had this conversation with him, Gulf South, which was, that's what fall ball is for. You go through fall ball to figure it out. Now, here's the contrast, okay? In fall, Michael Braswell was your best player, and Stephen Milam couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Now, Braswell has been good, not great, and Milam has kind of emerged as your everyday second baseman. So guys are allowed to improve and get better, and things do change. Sometimes guys, look at last year. Like Paxton Kling a year ago was your opening day leadoff hitter, and did really well in the pre-conference. You got the league play, and he could not hit SEC pitching. So things change and evolve as you move through a season. You learn more about especially about some of your younger guys. But I don't disagree with you. I think this is one of the challenging years where you lost 7 everyday players, man. I mean, that is, Morgan, Dugas, Thompson, Cruz, Joe Bear. I mean, who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Anyway, Beloso, but I'm trying who's in left. Oh, yeah, that's right. Pearson played right. Okay. By the end of the season, Pearson was playing right. Never mind. Anyway, but yes, you're not wrong. But again, sometimes things develop and evolve, and you get new information. And some guys struggle in the fall and are good in the spring, and so on. Irfan Sayad bats are struggling. It looks like everyone except Tommy is pressing. Dalton Barnett, just a little bit better is all we need. Cheers, Maddie. Aaron, love the shirt. This is another one of those like a staff shirt that I inherited from Jake Riedel when he left to go to Army. Let's see. Merrick Mathern, they will be lucky to be 6-9, 5-10 the halfway point. No, I disagree with you, Merrick. Look, I mean, they're home next week. Look, Vanderbilt got swept on the road in South Carolina. You're going to play better at home. And then you're at Tennessee, which has certainly not been flawless this year. I think, look, you could win today. You got Gage jump going against Tigert, who has been there. Tigert has been a weekend guy for them, but he struggled this year. So it's entirely feasible. You get this one today, which would put you at 3. I think you can win the series next week at home, which puts you at 5. And if you get 1 at Tennessee, you're at 6. I think that's to get to 5 or 6 at the halfway point is very, very, very plausible. Quentin Breakbill, happy Easter to you as well. Irfan, I'd like to see Milazzo back in the lineup. He is an auto out. How times have changed, huh? Irfan, people wanting to see Milazzo back in the lineup, but it's true. I mean, he's had competitive ABs. Billy Freeman, I think they potentially sweep C slot. What? Vandy boys next week. I don't know if I'd pick this team to sweep anybody. They could. I mean, Vandy got swept at South Carolina, so it could happen. Bubba Smith, good morning. Gary Atchett, right now, I just wanted to win this game today. Morning, Matt. We have the talent for sure. They just need to get a handle on cutting down the walks. Hopefully, we can play better at the end of the season. Well, the pitchers walk too many batters, and the hitters strike out too much. So, I mean, after striking out 19 times on Friday, your batters collectively struck out 12 times on Saturday. So that's 31 strikeouts in 2 games. That's not really good. Merrick, who drank Joe Boo's rum. Billy Freeman, Chase Shores need to show out next year. You may not have Chase Shores next year. He's draft eligible also, and so he'll have a decision to make. Does he come back and pitch his junior season, or does someone draft him coming off of TJ and he takes the money and goes? He's going to have that. He's going to have that decision to make. Abner Neal, good morning. Stacy Gilmore, will you watch any UFL? What's your spring and summer whiskey tequila choice this year? UFL, probably not, Stacy. I mean, because my spring is like I'm watching LSU baseball and I'm watching the Yankees, and it's like if I don't have an emotional connection to something, I'm not going to spend the time to watch it, and I don't, so I won't. Yeah, and then during the spring and summer, I drink tequila by the pool. I usually drink Don Julio Blanco, but I tell you what, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try the Noel tequila this year because it's local. I got to meet Natalie Noel. I think y'all have heard they've done some advertising with us. I know T-Bob and Jake did some stuff for them too. But when I was at the Holy Festival a couple of weeks ago with Drew, I met Natalie out there, and great story, and they're local, and so I'm always going to support local. So I would encourage everybody to do that if you're out at if you're at any local retailers, or if you're at a bar or something like that, and you're going to order a tequila drink, order it with Noel. But I'd love to see them do well. So that's what I'll do. So shout out. Brant Roban, I missed the game. What happened last night? Biggest downfall. Holman wasn't his best. He only went 4 1/3, walked 5. But still they only scored. They put up a 3 spot in the Arkansas did put up a 3 spot in the 4th, and that was the only runs they scored until they scored in the 10th. Griffin Herring was great out of the bullpen. Arkansas had the leadoff man each of the first 5 innings, and only managed to score in one of those innings. LSU had 2 pretty big uprisings in the 3rd and the 6th, and they managed just 3 runs. They had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 3rd, and the bases loaded with no out in the 6th, and they managed just in the 3rd with the bases loaded and 1 out, Travinsky struck out, and then Pearson had a 2 RBI single with 2 outs. And then in the 6th, they had the bases loaded with no out. Larson hit a liner to left, which scored the run on a sac fly, and then Milam grounded into a double play. So you had 2 opportunities to really do damage, and guys didn't come through. Ryan Dixon, thing that's most disappointing is strikeouts, not putting the ball in play with runners in 2nd and 3rd and less than 1 out. Need to advance runners. That's true. That's Ryan. So much of that is just having a team concept of baseball. If you noticed in the game last night, here's a great contrast. If you were watching the game last night, in that 4th inning, Peyton Stovall did that. And I hate that too, because Peyton Stovall is from Louisiana, and he's become a really good player. He played a really good defensive second base last night. He's a good hitter too, but Peyton Stovall with a runner at 3rd, less 2 outs, hit a grounder behind the runner. He hit it toward the middle, and Braswell had to go toward the second base bag, field, and throw him out at first, but he got the run home. That's how they tied the game at 2. It's just having that offensive team concept awareness, which I know Jay Johnson preaches, and it's got to drive him crazy. Like, even toward the end of the game, it would have been was the 8th inning? In the 8th inning, I think it was the 8th. In the 8th inning, Travinsky, Pearson, and Fry went up and down in order on 9 pitches. And then in the 9th, Braswell, Larson, maybe it was the 7th. Yeah, it was the 7th. Bingham struck out on 3 pitches. White grounded out on the first pitch of the at-bat, and then Jones grounded out on a 1-0 count. 6 pitches in the 7th. Of a 3-3 ball game, Bingham, White, Jones, your 1, 2, 3 hitters in the order went up and down in order on 6 pitches. Like, that has got to drive Jay Johnson crazy, because he wants to work counts. He wants to make a pitcher work. He wants to, slow play the game. He wants to call offensive timeouts to make the pitcher stop and get out of rhythm. Like, your 1, 2, 3 hitters go up and down in order on 6 pitches. Like, that's not team offensive baseball. That is selfish, is what that is. That's everybody trying to be a hero. Anyway. Phil Stevens, morning. So what pigs to be the man you got to beat the man? Whoa. What? LSU fan, seems like every time we're in a clutch situation with runners on and 2 outs, we get a sophomore that ain't ready for a big stage at the plate. LSU fan, I'll flatly disagree with you, because the biggest stage of the game last night was in the 3rd inning, bases loaded, 1 out, Hayden Travinsky up, and he strikes out. That's a 5th-year senior, man. Anyway. Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. Happy Easter to you as well. Hope the fam's doing awesome. Looking forward to seeing y'all in a few weeks at the Crawfish Bowl. I guess more than a few weeks. I guess it'll be the end of May, but a few months. Looking forward to seeing y'all very much. Hope everybody's doing great. Send my love. That's my Aunt Sharon. Let's see. If LSU can't beat top teams now, what makes people think LSU can beat them in May or June? Doesn't matter if we host a regional or hit the road. Because Gulf South, you know this, man. Your team evolves over the course of the season. You get better. Like that's an obvious one, man. Like again, look at the schedule. Look at the team a year ago at this point. Like Cade Beloso wasn't even in the lineup a year ago at this point. So like teams evolve and they get better, and you figure things out, and guys improve, and um, that's in any sport, man. That if you are the same team game one as you are game 56, or game 56 as you are game one, then that's a massive failure. You should improve as the season goes along. Look at LSU basketball this year. Second playing day, they lose to Nichols. They ended up having a nice conference season, made the NIT, won an NIT game. I mean, no, they didn't win an NIT game. Gary Atchison, what's going on? But they made the NIT. Patrick Cason, good morning. Billy Freeman, Herring was superb. Jordan Malazzo, what's the word on Jake Brown's injury? We saw Jake Brown pinch run the other day, so he's good. I would assume he's good. I mean, he pinch ran the other day. And I think he pitch hit too, and I think he got hit by a pitch, got hit on the foot. So he's been in there. Phil, tell me, what is the current leading home run active college baseball player? Oh, he said Tommy White. We're thinking Tommy's only played 2 seasons. I would have thought, especially with the COVID year, you'd had somebody. I mean, he had 25 as a freshman. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just curious now. He had 25 as a freshman at NC State, then did you go 27, 25 or 25, 27? Let me see. What's he at, 7 or 8 this year? Let's see. So he's 27 as a freshman. So it was 27. He went 27, 24. So I said 27, 25. 27, 24. Now he's at 8. So he's at 59 for his career. So 59 career homers. That's leading college baseball, huh? They really don't do a good job, the NCAA, of updating their website. How about Eddie Furness, 4th all time with 80? Pete Cavilla, Jeff Ledbetter, Ty Green, Eddie Furness. Brad Cressy, 6th. Yeah, they don't. I wish they had that active list. Oh, you're probably right. I guess I always think like there could be some guy at a small school that's it. But now, I guess now if you hit 30 bombs at a smaller school, you're getting plucked out of the portal of a bigger school. All right, please smash the like button if you would, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. A. Xander asking about Cade Woods. Don't know. I don't even know if he's on the travel roster right now. Relief pitching seems to be struggling. I mean, Griffin Herring was great last night. Billy Freeman, Fry strike zone is so expanded. Terry, Colin Foray, love Malazzo. I mean, for me, y'all, like, here's what I would say. I've said this before. If I have to win one game, if I have to go win one game, I'm not saying this is the best lineup but if I have to go win one game in a day, I think you're in that position today. You need to avoid being swept. I'm going Milazzo behind the plate, Jones at first, Milam at second, Braswell at short, White at third, Bingham in left, Kling in center. And I know y'all are going to scoff at that, but he's your best defensive center fielder. And I'm going Pearson in right. That's my lineup. And I'm either leading off with Pearson or Milam. And I know Kling is an out. I know it. I get it. He's an out. But he's great defensively. And I need to play great defense behind my pitcher to limit any scoring opportunities by the other team, because I don't think my offense is going to score very much. I mean, the contrast is you say, okay, we'll put your best offensive lineup out there. Well, they've done that. They've done that, and they're still not producing. They strike out a ton, and they don't produce in the clutch. So take some of the pressure off of Travinski by letting him DH instead of catch. Put a veteran guy in the lineup who knows how to put the ball in play in Milazzo and is your best defensive catcher. And see how that rolls. Like that I think right now is your best lineup. Now, it may come to pass to where Jake Brown emerges as your best center fielder because he's a really good athlete in center and also can hit the ball. It may emerge that way. Maybe you're better with Pearson at second, and maybe it's Brown and right, and Milam goes to the bench. Maybe. But I like having Milam in the lineup. I like his toughness. He has produced for you more so at the bottom of the lineup than at the top. And I think that's what I would roll with today. I'll be curious to see what Jay does, but I understand when you were trying to find offense to put offensive lineups on the field, to put Neal in right and move Pearson to second, to put Bingham in center to get another bat in the outfield. Fry, DH, Travinski catch. I get it. It's what you're doing. You're putting a defensive lineup or an offensive lineup out there. Try to put as many bats in the lineup as you can. It's not working. It's very clear. There's way too much swing and miss. There's way too many strikeouts because everybody up there's it has the big league approach where you'll take 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts if the one is a 3-run homer. I mean, that's a big league approach right now in Major League Baseball where everything is either a homer or a strikeout. And maybe that plays at the next level, but it's not helping this team win right now. Robert Potts, Matt, question above from Gulf South is a question I asked the other day. We ran out of time. 2010 SEC record looks nice, but you want to beat the best teams and know you can finish in the CWS. I mean, Robert, I would say, and I'm not sure exactly the nature of the question, but my thought is always get to a point where the road to Omaha goes through Baton Rouge, however that looks. Because if you really break it down and say, like, are you more likely to win a weekend at home or on the road? Well, the answer is obvious when you have an advantage like the box. And then when you get to Omaha, it's like, who plays their best baseball for 10 days in Omaha? I mean, that's what it comes down to win a national championship. I mean, it's a sport unlike football or something like that, where the best teams generally win. We've seen Coastal Carolina win a natty. We've seen Fresno State. We saw Arizona in 2012 get hot and win a national championship. That happens. So you need to get, but you can't win if you don't get there. So what's the clearest path to get there? Go Row. Should I go Carolina 11s or all white Air Force Ones for Easter shoe? Depends what the top is, man. What kind of shirt are you wearing? So, I mean, if you're like, I would only wear the Carolina 11s if you've got Carolina blue in your shirt. Otherwise, go with the all whites. Go Tigers. Some players look good in practice, suck in the games. You can't settle on a baseball lineup from fall ball, but you can have a jumping off point. And sometimes they don't even have that, which it feels like anyway. Stacey Gilmore, answered that one. Trey Bagby, pretty bummed. Multiple high-ranked recruits haven't panned out. Maybe Cruz spoiled us too much. What high-ranked recruits haven't panned out, Trey? I need you to be a little more specific there. Because, like, if you're talking about the freshmen, it's way too early. And yes, Cruz would spoil anybody. Gulf South off topic. What's the difference between the Aeon mosquito eradicator and the Spartan tubes I'm seeing in the stores? Thought they were the same company, just changed the name. Yes. So, effectively, I'm trying to think of what I can say. Because for so when I'm doing like my live reads on air on my radio show, I have to be careful with the verbiage because of like the two company names and like legalities and stuff. So the I don't know if I can say. Suffice to say, there's a reason, a very valid reason, that Clegg's now sells the Aeon product. And I would recommend going with the Aeon product that they sell at Clegg's. And if you message me privately, Gulf South, I'll happily tell you more. But my recommendation, the thing that I have in my backyard now, is the Aeon product that I bought at Clegg's. Gary Atchison, Milazzo needs to catch more. Kling reminds me of Milazzo a couple of years ago when he's hitting in the 140s. Kling will save her under 2 a game. That's always been my point. If you give me an elite defender at a premium defensive position, I will sacrifice the bat. I will give up a bat, knowing back then Milazzo was an out, knowing now Kling is an out. I will give up that bat to have an elite glove at a premium defensive position. And you see that in Major League Baseball as well. It is rare that you see Pudge Rodriguez or Mike Piazza, guys that are Buster Posey, guys that are great, that are catchers that have a great bat. It's a position that leans so heavily on the glove. Let's see. Here are your MLB catcher batting averages. And the catcher position in Major League Baseball last year average, all catchers in Major League Baseball averaged 236 batting average. The highest batting average for a catcher last year was Contreras at 289. Adley Rutschman hit 277. Elias Diaz at 267. I mean, just go down and look at this is the top 10. This is your top 10 offensive catchers in MLB last year. 10th was Cal Raleigh from Seattle at 232. It's rare to find a catcher that hits. You need the defense. Let's see. God's green morning. Let's go Yankees. Happy Easter. Yes, sir. Yankees 2-0. Put it on the Astros yesterday. Love to see that. Brant Roban is the biggest funk. Is this the biggest funk you've seen an LSU baseball team be in? No, Brant. Oh, my God. Do you remember the 2011 season? Brant, the 2011 season, LSU missed postseason altogether. They won 13 league games. I think they had 7 SEC losses by 1 run that year and missed postseason altogether. My goodness, the 2018 was similar. You know, they went to the College World Series Championship Series in 2017. A year later in 2018, they really struggled and ended up traveling in regional play and went up to Eugene, remember? or Corvallis. They went and played in Corvallis. That team finished 15-15 in league play. They opened up conference play with a series win against Missouri. Then they lost 2 or 3 to Vanderbilt. Series win against Mississippi State. Lost the A&M series. Then swept Tennessee. So they were kind of like, back and forth. And then got swept by South Carolina. Lost 2 or 3 to Ole Miss. Won the Arkansas series. Won the Bama series. Lost the Auburn series. They just never found any consistency that year. Finished 15-15. So no, man. It's been like this before. Terry said, "Where's Ackman?" He was in the bullpen last night warming up when Thatcher Hurd was pitching the 10th. And I know we're like some of you may just be joining right now. We talked about Hurd earlier. It's unfortunate Hurd's going to get the loss, and the narrative is going to be Hurd stinks. But Hurd went out in the 10th, struck out the leadoff man, and then got a weak tapper to short. So you should have had nobody on 2 out. But Braswell let the ball go under his glove, and that ended up being the winning run because the next guy doubled and scored the runner from first. So, Clayton Knight, he'll probably pitch. I'd be stunned if Ackenhouse will be first out of the bullpen today. You'll go Gage jump, and then, well, I say that Jay doesn't typically like to go like lefty. So jump. I don't know who the righty out of the pen would be. Maybe Guidry first out of the bullpen, and then Ackenhausen. If you need Guidry as like a stopper. Go Tiger said the natty hangover is real. Yeah, I disagree with that. It's not a natty hangover. It would be a natty hangover if you had all the same players, but you lost, 7 of your everyday position players. So it's just a fundamentally different team. The part that's real is you lost Paul Skeens and Ty Floyd and Riley Cooper and Trey Morgan and did I mention Dylan Cruz yet? Oh yeah, Dylan Cruz. Braden Jobert, Gavin Dugas, Cade Beloso, Jordan Thompson. It's a very different team. It's not a natty hangover. It's a different team. Matt McGuire, morning Scone. What's your thoughts on Braswell's performance recently, both offensive and defensive? I'll tell you another thing we haven't talked about yet today is Brad. I don't mean to crap on the kid. Braswell made an absolutely hideous running mistake yesterday. On the Milam double play ball, I should have mentioned this earlier. Milam grounded the ball to second, and Braswell was at first, and Braswell ran right into the tag, which allowed them to double up Milam at first. A little awareness of a little situational awareness, and you make that you probably. If you hold up and get yourself caught in a rundown, Milam's going to be safe at first. And you're still alive to keep that inning going. That was in the 6th, right? Yeah, that was in the 6th. Because you had the bases loaded, nobody out. Larson hits a missile to left, scores the run on the sac fly. And then, so you got first and second, 1 out. And Milam up. He hits the grounder to second, and Braswell runs right into the tag. So they tag Braswell, and they throw Milam out at first. That wasn't great. Clint Auto, what's good? Clint said for the last 3 weeks, looks like we have a bunch of individuals in the lineup. We aren't a cohesive unit. The tricky part of it, Clint, is like if you go back though and look at the game, the Texas game for sure against LeBaron Johnson, last Friday against Florida. We've seen it, man, where they're competitive. They're intentional on running up pitch counts. Look, they did that on Thursday against Hagen Smith. They got Hagen Smith out of there after 6 innings because they ran his pitch count up. Now he had 10 strikeouts or whatever it was, but they made him work. And and they got him out of the game while it was still a game, which was their intention. So, Clint, the point is, I guess, like we've seen them do it. That's the frustrating part is like we've seen them have a good offensive day and a team strategy and approach. The problem or the frustrating part is it's they haven't done it consistently. Stacy keeps seeing this weird comparison of some analysts saying Drake May and JJ McCarthy are better than Jaden. I think Washington knows Jaden has better thoughts. I don't know anyone within the Washington organization, so I can't tell you that I know what Washington is thinking. I don't. We're all guessing. Drake May scares me just because he doesn't have the skins on the wall in college. It feels like you're drafting a physical skill set instead of a football player. And maybe it's unfair that I'm comparing him to another North Carolina quarterback that was the same thing in Mitch Trubisky. Huge dude, gigantic arm, went 3 overall, and we've seen how that's worked. And McCarthy, it's similar, man. I wonder like how much of Michigan's success was him or how much of it was just they had an awesome offensive line, great running game. He didn't have to throw the ball. Like McCarthy never, in 3 years at Michigan, 2 as a starter, he never had a 3,000-yard passing season. And this year he played 15 games. In 15 games, he didn't throw for 3,000 yards. He was like 2,900. It was just under 3,000 in 15 games. I mean, it just tells you like they didn't rely on him to go beat teams. Like LSU relied on Jaden Daniels, especially with their defense being as bad as they were. Austin noticed Johnson replaced Kling in center in the late innings. He's trying everything. Well, no, he pinch hit Larson in that situation, which was the right decision. So what I was telling you about in the 6th. Yeah, the bases loaded with nobody out. Kling was coming up. He pinch hit Larson. And it was the right decision. Larson hit a missile to left, which scored the run. Like you couldn't strike out there. You had to get that run home to tie the game, which he did. So that's not, I wouldn't say, Austin, that's like tinkering or trying everything. Like that was in a very intentional situation where Kling was coming up and you had to have someone go put the ball in play. They pinch hit Larson there. Let's see. Deborah Coward, what's going on? Gulf South, they mentioned White's home run numbers a few times last night. Like honestly, I was watching the game, but I don't watch, especially when it's road games. I am not listening to the commentators. But you know what? Last night was Tom Hart, wasn't it? Last night was Tom Hart and Kyle Peterson, who are great. I love them. But I just very candidly did not have like the sound up. I mean, I was very low, barely casually listening to that broadcast. Let's see. Yeah, Vinay Patel asked for Game Coin update. The weekly updates haven't been coming. So a while back, if you go, Vinay, they made the decision to switch from weekly updates to doing an update either on the first or the second Monday of the month. So it was going to monthly updates. And I'll tell you, like, I have I have the next update on my phone. And the next thing, it looks phenomenal. I just don't know what the next update is that they're going to share. And I thought either the last 2 weeks we probably would have seen it. So I'm a little surprised we haven't, but I'm not going to be the one to spill the beans. I'm going to let David and them decide like how they're going to do it on the GameCoin platform as they do. But I've seen it and it's pretty stinking cool. And there's one thing, I know I've teased this before, but there's one thing in particular that I think is proprietary and a super cool feature that kids in particular are absolutely going to love. And I know that is an awful, awful tease, and I hate to say it that way, but I don't want you to think that I'm like just passively saying words without saying something. But I'll try to find out. Not try. I will. I'll find out why there hasn't been an update in a few weeks because it. should have had one of those Monday updates. But my guess is they're probably going to reveal like more of the platform. Like the last one they did showed you what the NFT, like what the card is going to look like. Hang on. Which I'm sure you saw, Vinay. So this was the last one they did. So that's the DeMario. DeMario's still all on board. He's awesome, man. He's been a great partner. So, and it spins, and there's actually, this is only part of it because you can see the backside of it as well. But that's what the front of the card looks like. But there's another one tease I'll give you is there's another feature with AR, with augmented reality involved, which is really stinking cool. Anyway, I don't want to say anymore. But I'll try to find out why they haven't done an update and when one may come. Murder Giraffe was Tennessee regional host last season. Let's see. So Tennessee started last year 5-10. They hit the halfway point at 5-10. They finished 16-14. Let's see. There we go. So they finished 16-14. Then they no, they traveled to Clemson. They won Clemson's regional, and then they went to Southern Miss and beat Southern Miss in the Super Regional to go to Omaha. And they lost the first game 5-3, and they came back 8-4 at 5-0. That's right. So it's 16-14. They traveled. They won South Carolina's regional, and then the Hattiesburg Super. I'd forgotten that. Matt Richino, what do you think is the biggest issue? Is it a simple fix or something that's here to stay? A lot of talent. Hopefully it's temporary. So, well, the biggest issue is your pitching staff walks too many guys and your hitters strike out too much. So, I mean, at the risk of being somewhat repetitive, Jay kind of has a choice. Do you keep taking your lumps with the young guys who have a higher ceiling, right? Like Ethan Fry, Ashton Larson, Steven Milam. I mean, these are all young players, right? Do you keep taking your lumps with these young guys, figuring they're going to continue to improve and get better and better and better? Or do you try to win today and go with your more veteran guys that don't have as high a ceiling? And that's the decision Jay Johnson's got to make, because I think he's trying to get, it almost feels like he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. Like he's trying to have this blend of veterans and young guys to let the young guys get their experience while the veterans hold at their end, and it's not working. So, anyway, let's see. Carlos Correa. Heard the Washington Post article was just released. It's a big nothing burger. Shocker. What a slime ball reporter to release this article right before the UCLA game. It's apparent of the timing, but still slimy. Okay, so I see it. Kim Mulkey holds grudges, battles everyone, and keeps winning, but okay, so they did publish it. I don't think I'll be able to read it. And how terrible. Like the photo they use is one of her on the sideline. Like like yelling. I don't even want to click on it because if I click on it, it's going to give them. And of course, there's the the pop up for or the paywall. So nope, I won't be reading it like most of you. Terrible. Wendell Norman, what's going on? Let's see. Matt Richino is a lack of offense because of young and experienced guys. What about that? Let's see. Please smash the like button if you would. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Appreciate y'all for being there. Uncle Hoodat, more than ever, when I caught the show late, I'll be sure to catch the replay. Happy Easter. God bless. Appreciate that, man. Happy Easter to you as well, to you and yours. Gulf South Milo makes contact a lot. Issue is it's a fly ball out mostly. Let's see. Go Tigers. Milam, Bingham, Witt, Trav, Jones. I guess it's White. Let's see. That's how you want to lead off. You want to go Milam, Bingham, White, Travinsky, Jones. I'll tell you this. If you keep giving Milam opportunities in the leadoff spot, I think he can be good. The problem with Milam is you gave him that shot to start conference play, and he did not do well at the start of conference play. And so you look for options for offense. You put him back in the lineup, but you put him in the bottom of the lineup. He's producing better at the bottom. Maybe in time he can be that guy. But so you want like Milam's hitting 322, but I'll need to look and see his SEC splits because he's definitely not hitting 322 in SEC play. Bingham's at 304, but same thing. Like Pearson is a guy that I've seen be clutch in postseason moments for you. Like the moment isn't going to be too big for Pearson. That's why I kind of want him in the lineup and probably at the top of the lineup. I mean, Pearson's the guy that came through with the 2-out, 2 RBI single for you last night in the third, after Travinsky struck out. Tiger Diver, Morning Scone, are we going to make it to a regional? Yes, LSU will make it to a regional. Billy Freeman, I think Florida looks as steady as anyone right now. Evans is a dang tear. Merrick Mathern, never thought I'd come to Morning Scone to hear fashion advice. Oh, the guy was asking about sneakers, man, for sure. Trey Bagby, Billy Ashton Larson does some good, mature things for a young cat. They like him. I mean, that's clearly the two young guys that Jay likes the best are Larson, well, Milam, of course, but Larson and Fry. Noah Malone saw LSU's right there with the rest of the pack for baseball, just missing some clutch hitting. I mean, I'll say it again, and this isn't going to make you feel better. It shouldn't make you feel better. But how different do you feel today if you hadn't blown the 8th inning lead against Florida, and if you had finished last night, which you had a great opportunity, you had 2 opportunities to blow the game open. You just the clutch hit avoided you. You lost in extras. I mean, how different do you feel right now at 4-4 with a series win against Florida, and you're going for the series win today against Arkansas, than 2-4 where you blew an 8th inning lead against Florida and lost in extras to Arkansas? But it just does go to show you like how close they really are. They're close. It doesn't feel like it when you're 2-4 and you keep losing, but they are. Seth said, how much confidence do you have the boys will figure the bats out? Seth, I mean, for me, did you steal the Saints Lombardi trophy? Yes. No, I didn't steal it, but that is a to scale replica of the trophy. I won it at an auction a few weeks back. I have so much confidence in Jay Johnson. The other thing too, y'all, 3rd pitching coach in 3 years. That's not easy. It's not easy to maintain consistency with expectations from a coach, his style, and also like his pitch calling sequence, like how a pitching coach calls the game, how he sequences pitching and pitches. That changes. So yeah, man, give it time. Um, um, Gulf South Milazzo is hitting 333 as a 459 OBP. I put the man in the lineup. It's funny how I was the biggest Milazzo champion 2 years ago, and I got crapped on mercilessly for it. And now everybody loves Milazzo. I'm telling you, it's the same thing with Paxton Kling. It's a repeat of that situation. I get it. Kling is an out. He's an out. Um, and I'm not arguing to the contrary. But he has the physical ability, the tools to be a good hitter. Some of that's just going to be experience and comfort and stop trying to press so much. But the defense, man, the struggles at the plate, he's not brought that into the field. He's been great defensively for you. Okay, y'all. Let me see. Brett Guidry, timing of the article doesn't affect Kim or the team. They are focused. Kick rocks, Washington Post. That is the crappy thing. Like, and very and obvious and intentional that you drop the Kim Mulkey article right now. LSU plays at noon. They play in an hour and 12 minutes, and they dropped that article this morning. Kick rocks. John Hendricks, understand we need offense and defense. We have to remember our guys are young. It's hard to be amazing back-to-back years. I'm sure we'll have plenty of great years to come. Nathan, have you seen Walk It Off documentary? What do you think? Is that the Warren Morris? Is it the Warren Morris documentary? I thought they did a great job with that. Oh, Clint, if you want to read it for free on your phone, change your iPhone browser to reader mode when you click the Washington Post article. Okay. I don't know how to change the browser to reader mode, but I will look it up and do it. Actually, I don't even, part of me, Clint, like, I don't even want to read it because I don't want to give them the impressions. But I almost feel like I have to read it to be able to discuss it. I don't know. Okay. Sweet said, Matt, do you or anyone speak about the no tackling rule in the NFL? Can you make an AFR on that subject? Great to see you again. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So I did talk about like the hip drop tackling, and I actually don't hate the rule. I understand why defensive players are against it because they're going to say you keep limiting the way that we can bring people to the ground, which is going to make it harder to bring people to the ground. And I understand that. I do. I also saw what happened with Jordan Travis, and that was a hip drop tackle that shattered his leg. And the NFL's research has determined that you're 25% more likely to have an injury on a hip drop tackle than anything else. So that is objectively a dangerous play because you're just your body weight is falling. You're turning an offensive player to the side and you're falling on his leg. So you're going to have knee and ankle and foot and shin injuries with that play. And I'm okay eliminating it. Like, I think the spirit of the rule has to be good, but you have to be smart in how you enact it. It's the same thing with targeting. Like, I think we all agree. I think everyone agrees that like the intention, the spirit of the targeting rule is good to take dangerous plays out of the game where players launch, crown of the helmet at someone else's head or neck area. It can injure the ball carrier or the defender or both. Like, we can all agree with the spirit of that rule. The problem with the rule is the enforcement, in that there are very obviously unintentional contact moments between two helmets that are not malicious or violent in any way that result in a 15-yard penalty and an ejection, and that's stupid. So, like, the spirit of the rule is good. The enforcement of the rule is bad. I think it's the same here with the hip drop tackle. Like, the spirit of the rule is good. Let's see how they enforce it. Okay. Um, okay, y'all. Might be just about done. Let's wrap this thing up. We've been going for a good while here. Thanks for being there. Smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up the channel. If you're there on YouTube, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Shout out to our LinkedIn friends as well. Okay. As always, shout out to Brock. If you need an orthopedist, they're the best. Happy Easter nights and weekends. Brock after hours clinics open as an alternative to the ER. So if you have your find yourself in need of an orthopedist, go see our friends at Brock. They'll help you out. And Hudco, of course, you need a roof. Give us a shout. 364-1007. 364-1007. Oh, it just changed one at the top. Is this the one I got to do? There it is. Brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco, 364-1007. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Happy Easter, and we'll see you tomorrow for Easter Sunday. Peace.